Hi folks, Jonkits here, playing Sailaway the Sailing Simulator. So we have been sailing along the east coast of the US for no apparent reason, just sailing in a southerly direction along the coast. And we've also been doing the challenges, and yesterday we completed the slalom to Ovalu, which apparently is in the Fiji somewhere. And that took about 40 minutes, so we did record all of that. Actually, I can't remember the amount of time, 30, 35 minutes long, thereabouts. Anyway, now they want to go to the Canary Islands in an estimated time of 3 hours. So obviously doing that in one session is not going to help us at all. We have to sail the course though. We can't interrupt it in the middle. So either I'm going to just cut out lots of stuff and try to fit everything in under around 30 minutes, or we're going to do it in 2 different sessions, depending. I have no idea what's going to happen once we get in there. Or we might be able to just set a course and move on to something else, in which case I might try one of the races. So for now, we don't know. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. And they've done it in an hour, the really fast ones. Let's see if we can scroll down here. An hour and 12 minutes. The really slow ones, using the 32-foot offshore racer, which is what we've been playing with mostly. Then some people have used the performance cruiser. Whoops. Okay, we've jumped out of here. Yeah, most people have taken that. The wind has been either straight in front or behind us, and it varies, gosh, from 2 knots or 3 knots. I can't understand that, how someone with a wind of roughly 3 knots, with a wind that's roughly in front, well, it depends on which direction we're going once we get into sailing. Could be behind, couldn't it? But they are the fastest ones. It's done in an hour and 4 minutes. That seems to be actually the lowest wind that I can see here. So a low wind of just under 3 knots. They managed to do it in an hour 4. Huh. Well, we'll just, I don't know. And what does this say? Sunny Canary, Saturday, 1st of January, year 2000. Okay, for a minute I was thinking 2020. 2000, okay, so it's almost 20 years ago. Doesn't say the date or what this refers to actually, just the conditions at that time. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like if it's conditions at one particular time, how come the wind is changing? Oh, I have no idea. So let's say goodbye to that and let's jump in and see what it is that we're playing with here. Whoa. Do you want to override? Yes, I'm going to override in this case. On the sunny day, you see a little Atlantic island, La Gomera, when you stand on the coast of Tenerife. The best way to get there is with your own boat. Sail as fast as you can. Okay, that's the what we are done with here. So first of all, I think by the feel of things. It's a straight line. Okay. Which we just crossed. And they want us to go in a straight line. Which way's the wind? The wind is coming from the north at roughly 355 degrees. And we are booting it along at 6 knots with a heck of a lot of tilt here. Let's see if we can just tilt right over here. It looks like we've done the right thing as far as healing goes. But we should bring this over further. That'll help us a bit. Very, very little bit. We're tilting far too much. So, a couple things we're going to do here. Okay, we're at 90 degrees. It wants us to raise code 0, but I want to pull, given the condition we have, what is that, 7? Seems to hang up here. We're hung up. Okay. We're at roughly 7.0 knots. Let's see if I pull off the wind a bit, whether we can increase our speed. Okay, let's get back on board. Pull off the wind a bit. We're actually we've increased the speed a little bit. As far as the trim goes, the sheet of the Genoa is too tight. If I can find Genoa sheet. The sheet Genoa is too tight, so Alright, so let's come back to the barber haulers in a second. The main sheet is too tight. Main sheet. And the top of the main, try to ease the vang. Oh, it actually adjusted itself. Until it's too flat, try to ease the out haul. So they want me to put a code 0, which is because of the high wind. What is the wind? 18.4 knots. Okay, because of the high wind, they want us to put a nice big sail on there. That's what I'm guessing anyway. So what we want to do is go to the Genoa backstay, or the halyard, and we'll get rid of that. Okay, we were up to around 7.2 before we started this process. Okay, so we take the Genoa down and code 0 here. So they want us to put this really big sail up. Okay, wow, now it definitely increased our speed. We're up to almost 8, or just past 8 knots. So let's take a look at this code 0, and it is too tight. The sheet is too tight. Code Zero halyard, bang, reef, backstay, traveler, and halyard. They don't give us a Code Zero sheet because they think we're reefed, even though, according to the reef sail, we're not. So I'm guessing anyway. Code Zero halyard, bang, halyard, reef. There. Now, Code Zero halyard. No, it's not going to give us a Code Zero reef. Or sheet, rather. Code Zero sheet. Huh. Okay, let's see if we can pop up to the other side. Let's see if adjusting the barber haulers might have something to do with it. They don't even give us those. All right. So I guess we can't adjust the sheet. Come back to the mainsail. The mainsail is 2 round. Try to pull the out haul. Okay, and try to ease the bang. Well, ease the bang, okay. Okay, we're up to 8.4 kilometers. Again, we're tilted quite a bit. Probably too much, picking up a lot of friction that way. Maybe don't know whether it's taking us too far off course here or not. I'm not sure what the ratio is. It should say it's here, 1 nautical mile is that length, so roughly about there, nautical mile. Trying to think, should I come back? Okay, at 8.8 knots, so we're cooking pretty good here, and our angle is, for the apparent direction, is about 90, what, 100 degrees off the true wind. So if we hit this leaderboard right now, does that show us? Nah. Thought maybe it would show us some progress as we went. So, I'm thinking the bearing of the wind is around 350, 340 maybe. And, well, we're up to 9 knots. I don't want to play with that more than we have to. Except I don't want to get too far off course, but at that speed, we're looking pretty good. Wants us to add a reef. All right, we're at 8.8 knots. Reef will be right there, so main traveler, backstay, reef. So we had 8.8 knots. Hopefully this reef will make a significant difference. Okay, we're up to 9.3, so we have increased our speed by adding a reef. I wonder if we added yet another reef. It says add a reef to the mainsail. We're at 9.5, 9.4, 9.5. All right, let's see what happens if we go up even another reef. .5, 9.6, 9.7, wow. Added a couple knots. Still says to add a reef. Wow. That would be almost 100% reef. Add a reef. All right, we're at 9.6, 9.7. Against my better judgment here, I don't know how much a reef. 100% reefed. It's not 100% pulled down. Wow, we're up to 10.7. Holy mackerel. We are cooking. I really don't want to change our bearing, because if we use that now. We dropped off 9.3. Was there original speed? Whoa, we dropped off a lot. What's going on here? Okay, it says tip down the lower left saying now we've removed a reef. Okay, we're picking up. It says to remove another reef. I hate follow these directions that keep telling us to do opposite things. All right. .5. We've got a long way to go, so we can compensate. .3 is our speed. Let's see what our trim wants to tell us. The main sheet is too loose. Take your word for it. Sheet is too loose. Just tighten it a little bit, and that seems to be fine. Unfortunately, it's not letting us adjust the sheet for the code 0. Now it says to add a reef again. I wish I knew what was triggering their device. They want us to add a reef. 67%. 9.7, and I can't adjust the sheet to the telltale, to the code 0. I get further and further to the south of the course. So we're going to have to tack back, although at this distance where we keep up at 9.7 knots, we've got a long ways to go here. Yellow dot is our course to our next destination, and we are an hour and a half away at the present bearing. Our local time is, this is not relevant to our local time at all, so we don't know what that's referring to. And what's that again? Distance to waypoint 14, I'm assuming that's nautical miles. And this is our depth, which is fine. The bearing to the destination, which was that yellow dotted line, is at 52. And bearing to the waypoint is the same because the destination and the waypoint are the same. The standard time of Sailaway with no time zones and no daylight savings time applied to it. Standard time got nothing to do with my present time, local time and standard time. Local time, what does that mean? I'm saying it doesn't mean anything. So position, waypoint coordinates, and our destination coordinates should be the same. Say, okay, it's fine. And we're sailing along at 9.8 knots. So what if a 9.9, I hesitate to change that. But I'm going to pull back toward the wind a little bit and see what that does. Dropped off to 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. Seems to be okay. Let's pull back a little bit more. 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. Let's pull back a little more. Now it's all the way down to 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, 9.9. Seem to be okay. It's at 19.2 knots wind. Slowly dragging our course back towards our destination. See how much it changes our knots. Doesn't seem to be affecting it too badly. 9.9 knots, okay. So anything we lose, if we lose a tenth of a knot, we'll gain because we're more directly at the destination. You should be able to tell. An hour and 25 minutes, that's a whole minute. So we're slowing down, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8. Slowing down a bit. We're not getting any suggestions as far as reefing goes. Minutes into the sailing here. Yeah, we're not close to halfway. If we were like about there somewhere, I'd say we're challenging the leadership board, but we're not. Okay, we're down to 9.0, so let's see what happens if I pull off. Like the wind, the true wind hasn't dropped off significantly, so I'm going to pull off a little more. See whether our knots pick up. Okay, well that's because, let's pull off a little bit more before we start following their suggestions, because they're saying you move a reef and change to a jib. But I don't see any change in condition here other than the direction that we pulled on. So I'm going to try to pull back out a bit more. Okay, we're slowly gaining speed. I don't see any point in changing to the jib as opposed to the code 0 at this early in the race. Maybe if I let it go a little longer, keep my speed up. I'm gradually pulling off the wind. At 9.5, the wind is holding at 20.5 knots. At 9.5. Okay, I pulled off 9.5, 9.6, pulled off a little bit more. Wind has dropped a little bit. We're still up 9.7 knots. Let's see what the trim has to say. Code 0 sheet, we can't access. And the mainsail's just fine. So, if I go further and further off course, hopefully when I tack further back toward the wind, then I'll raise the jib and we'll stay at, well, up to 10 knots, and actually the wind has dropped a little bit, back down to 9.4 knots. Alright, we'll just leave it as is for now. come roughly to, okay, that distance is 5.5 nautical miles. So we've come almost that distance, covered almost 5 nautical miles. Can't remember what the total distance was now. Okay, we'll leave it as is for now. Just let it sail out, because we've got a good speed here, I think. So anyway, just let you know why we're doing this, by the way, is that I've created this channel mainly for senior citizens who may have found that they're somewhat abused as they roam around YouTube, gaming in general. So this is roughly a safe point or a safe location where senior citizens are respected, or anybody else who is marginalized by the gaming community, by YouTube in general. So if you just want to hang out, please leave a message. Let us know what your experience with gaming is or was, or YouTube in general. Or if you're not marginalized, you just like playing this game and you find this video particularly helpful, just let me know. Do hit the thumbs up button and do hit the subscribe button. That's all a great help in me figuring out what's best to show on this channel. So we'll just let it ride. We're just passing 32 minutes. So we'll let it go a little bit longer, and I think I'll just continue recording. See what happens here. We're maintaining a speed of 9.6 or 7, 9.67 knots, slowing down a little bit, even though our wind, that seems strange, as the wind picks up, we tend to slow down a little bit. Maybe if the wind was even higher, I'd add another reef. What have I got now? 33%. I think. I don't know. What's our reef? 67%. I got 2 reefs on there. Who knows? So actually what I think I'll do is I'll put a break here, or make a pseudo break. I'll keep recording, but I will come back as a second leg of this journey. So until next time, please do take care.